Your ability to communicate ideas persuasively is the single greatest skill you need to accomplish your purpose and goals. And being able to communicate with influence and impact in the 21st century needs a 21st century model of communication. To communicate with influence and impact, we need to use hugs. Hugs is a neuroscience-based model for influential and impactful communications. My name's Dr. John Kenworthy, and welcome to this part. We're continuing the Understand Me part of the Hugs influential and impactful communications model. We're looking at how to get to know your audience. We've already talked about what do they know already and what do they need to know and want to know. Well, this is the letter O of know. What is their opinion or their attitude about our topic and myself? I didn't recognise the number, but I was expecting a call, and thus began another 5-minute rude interruption. We all get them, we all hate them, and yet companies persist in using telemarketing and tired sales scripts. This one was especially bad. It was someone trying to sell me a meeting arrangement service using LinkedIn. Essentially, they would trawl LinkedIn for, their words, hot prospects and arrange a meeting with them for me. I wasn't interested and informed them so. But this one was persistent and was unwilling to let me escape. On and on she talked. Didn't want to know anything at all about me, my needs, my business, my opinion on cold call telemarketing, anything about me at all. She was interested in getting through her script, presumably to earn a paycheck. I gave up being polite and cut the call. I've often wondered if any of such calls ever achieve their goal. I've yet to meet anyone who relishes receiving these cold calls. Purely speculative, scattergun, and yet so many of my clients complain of meetings and presentations that they willingly attend where the presenter is concerned only with getting through their script, in spite of the audience's wants, needs, opinions and preferences. Okay, perhaps willingly is a bit of a stretch. Grudgingly. So in the previous episodes we discussed what your audience already knows and what they need to know, and how you, as the communicator, need to make sure that you identify your 10% of what they really must take away. So this time we're looking at what is the audience's opinion and who are they? So what is their opinion? I worked for a client a little recently where the country manager was having problems with the local leadership team. Technically, the individuals were all brilliant and excellent. They just didn't get along together very well. There was quite a bit of power play going on, and interdepartmental blaming and rivalry, well, it was rife. Essentially, they weren't playing well together. And like a football team that doesn't support each other well, they were getting thrashed by the competition. As is often the case in such situations, the team members thought rather negatively about all this soft, fluffy stuff that I was talking about, and the problem lay with the company's processes and other departments. Not their team, and certainly not something any coach could fix. They weren't quite ready to instantly change their behaviour. Well, at least until the other party admitted that they were wrong and changed first. Sounds familiar? And sometimes it is personal. It's not your role they disagree with, it's you. In these politically correct days, nobody says what they think, but they sure do think it. Maybe they prefer a female. Maybe you need to be Asian to understand the local culture. Maybe you should be an engineer. Maybe the way you dress is deemed as threatening. Even with a non-hostile audience, you want to know what they think about you and your topic before deciding how to approach your communication. What do they think of you and your topic? A few years ago, many years ago, I was enjoying my new position installing computerised till systems and stock control systems throughout the central London pub estate for Chef and Brewer, part of the Grand Metropolitan Group at the time. My boss was a great guy and everything was going brilliantly well until he got replaced by an arrogant, opinionated know-it-all, who, quite frankly, understood nothing about computerisation and, worse, hated the idea of it. This was the late 1980s, by the way, and my new boss was determined to halt the technological advance at all costs. Within a month, I felt like Sisyphus, pushing the computerisation agenda up an increasingly steep hill and soon to be crushed by the backlash. I hadn't had time to build any real influence, nor win any significant political allies in the organisation, and my colleagues soon joined my new boss in undermining and stalling progress. My personal credibility hadn't been established securely, and without it I was going to struggle to overcome the logical and emotional resistance that I was convinced were at the root of the problem. Aristotle noted that there were three key forms of resistance in an audience, and he called them ethos, pathos and logos. The character or credible appeal of something or someone, the emotional appeal and the logical argument. And it's often difficult to distinguish whether it is you or your topic that is causing the problem. Certainly, your personality colours your opinion about the topic, but when you are on the inside, it always feels personal. To give your case the best possible chance of success, you need to establish credibility with your audience, present your logical argument and appeal to their emotions. That is, you need to win their hearts and minds. Notice the word win. Because in every communication, yours is just one more voice contending to be heard than acted upon. People do resist change, and any time that you are presenting or communicating, you are instigating change. All of your audience members and you share three basic human needs. Number one, to feel safe with a positive self-image. Number two, the need to belong to a tribe, to a group. And number three, the need to be right, that they and their opinions matter. When your argument makes the audience feel that you are picking them out as non-compliant, wrong, or simply for being different, then your argument falls on deaf ears. We need to remember communication is much, much more than the words that come out of your mouth. To ensure that your argument stands a chance of being accepted, you need to know what they think of you and what they think of your topic. And the easiest way to do that is to ask them. I didn't understand all this back in the late 1980s in London. I just bulldozed my project through as best I could. 15 months later, I was generously made redundant the day I installed the last pub in the estate. In sum, before we embark on our communications, to have the greatest chance of success that our argument will land well and have impact and be influential, we need to know what the audience think about us and our topic. And to do that, we need to ask some questions. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Leadership Advantage. If you'd like to learn more about how you can unlock your talent, unstuck your potential, and unleash your performance so that you can have joy at work and your team can have cohesion of unity and effort for good success, then visit us at leadershipadvantage.com.